Good morning, y'all. It's Mr. Smith again. Today we're going to do some graphing of exponential functions. Today we're going to graph y equals 2 to the x minus 9. Um, Typically, the first thing you want to do whenever you're graphing an exponential is go ahead and create an xy table. 'Cause when you create the xy table, all you have to do is basically plot the points, and you're pretty much set to go. I'm going to start off with 0. I think most of my students know to start off with 0, 1, and 2. I went on to 3 and 4 just because it's y equals 2 to the x, and usually we can get those to fit. If you have Mr. Behringer, I know he usually has you start at -1, 0, 1, and 2, 3, and 4. So you can kind of see the curvature of the exponential function. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and figure out what y will be when x is 0. So I'm going to go ahead and write x equals 0. And we have y equals 2 to the x minus 9. So we're going to put 0 where x is. So we get 2 to the 0. So that means 2 to the 0 is 1. And so we get y is equal to -8. So I'm going to put -8 here. And then we just repeat the same thing. This time x is 1 because we have 1 for x. We take our function again. Y is equal to 2 to the x minus 9. So we get y is equal to 2 to the first minus 9. And 2 to the first is just 2. And 2 minus 9 is simply -7. So I'm going to put -7. And then again, we repeat the pattern. So now x is 2. And so we type in x equals 2. We write our function y equals 2 to the x minus 9. Please note I'm making my x an exponent and not a regular x. So now we have 2 squared. And what is 2 squared? That is correct. It is 4. And we all know 4 minus 9 is -5. And then what do you think we're going to do now? We're going to plug in 3 for x. So now we have x is equal to 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 2 to the third. And 2 to the third is 8. And 8 minus 9 is -1. So I'm going to go ahead and write -1. And then we have one more to do and we'll be done. So we have x equals 4. And we have y is equal to 2 to the fourth minus 9. 2 to the fourth is 16. And 16 minus 9 is 7. So we put 7. So usually that's the hardest, most longest part. After that, everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. I like to go ahead and fill in the rest of the table. So I'm going to start off with the y-intercept. The biggest thing to remember about the y-intercept is where x is 0. So right here, x is 0. Right there where I drew the little arrow. So that means our y-intercept is 0, -8. Our horizontal asymptote is the number after x. So in this problem, it's -9. But since it is a line, we have to always put y equals. So it's going to be y is equal to -9. So typically, once you have these 3 things, so again, once you have these 3 things, the table, y-intercept, horizontal asymptote, you're usually pretty good to go ahead and graph it. The first thing you want to graph is the horizontal asymptote. So we have y is equal to -9. There's our y. We're going to go down to -9, and we're going to draw a dotted line. It's very important that it's dotted. Remember, the horizontal asymptote is the lowest point of the graph. It will never actually touch it. It will just get closer and closer to it. So again, horizontal asymptote is the lowest point. Once you have your horizontal asymptote plotted, you can go ahead and plot your points. So we have 0, -8, which is our y-intercept. So we go to 0, and we go down to -8. And then we have 1, -7, so we go to 1 on the x, and we go down to -7. Because all the y does, it tells you whether to go up or down. That's all it does. Then we go to 2 on the x, and we're going to go down to -5. Then we're going to go to 3 on the x, and we're going to go down to -1. And we're going to go to 4 on the x, and we're going to go up to 7. And hopefully you can kind of see the curvature of our graph. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my dots now. Draw my hockey stick. And it's going to look something like that. Bam. And there's our exponential function. The last part that we have to do is just fill out our domain and range. Hopefully you can tell that it goes on forever to the left. So it's -infinity, less than x, less than, and it goes on forever to the right. I know it looks like it might be stopping, but it's actually going to keep on going in this direction. So it's infinity. Because no matter what x value you plug into x, you'll get a value. And then our range is always the lowest and the highest. Our ranges are y, and we know it's going to be less than, less than. So the lowest point that this graph can go on the y is our horizontal asymptote, because that's the lowest point. So I'm going to put -9. And then the highest point is really easy to see, because we can tell that it's going to keep on going up and up and up and up forever. So it's going to be infinity. And bam, that's how you graph an exponential function and identify the most important parts of its graph. I hope this video helped.